What's up, LinkedIn community? This is Adam Conrad, founder and CXO of Great Recruiters. We are the review, reputation management, brand promotion platform for the staffing industry. And I am joined here today with Tyler at SRG. He is one of our top rated recruiters. Tyler, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure, and kudos to you and all the amazing reviews that candidates have provided you. And quite honestly, I'm going to just read one because I think it encapsulates everything probably about you. Excellent, engaging, diligent, professional, trustworthy. I mean, what else do you want when working with a recruiter? But kudos to the accolades that you're getting. Obviously, it's well earned, not just by the performance, but by the experience and time that you're taking working with your candidates and creating those experiences. So congratulations. Tyler, always love to start off. You're probably much like a lot of the other recruiters and folks that I've talked to. We didn't grow up thinking we were going to be recruiters. We kind of fall into it. But I'm curious. I don't know that. Maybe you've always wanted to be a recruiter, but tell us a little bit. How did you get into the recruiting industry?
No, absolutely. I think, and thanks so much again, Adam. I appreciate you having me and for the kind words. So, for me, I've kind of always been, sort of drawn to the human side of business in general. Again, I definitely didn't grow up, thinking I was going to be a recruiter necessarily, but, and like a lot of us, like you said, kind of fell into it. But, I guess to take it a level further, I've always kind of enjoyed understanding what motivates people, how teams thrive, and, kind of how, take it a step further, how the right hire can kind of transform an organization. And I think we all know instances where, hey, whether it's a friend, family member, they get in the right position and they're truly passionate about the job, the company, and they end up staying there for 30 plus, years, so on and so forth. So, and truly passionate about helping people. That's always been something about me as a personality, trait, and helping connect people with opportunities that can change their lives. So that's really kind of what led me along my career recruiting path.
That's awesome. And for those who don't know, give us a little background on SRG and talk a little bit about the types of folks that you're helping out there in the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. So SRG is a leading life sciences recruiting agency under the Impelling Group, and we've been around for over 30 years, and we do life sciences staffing from clinical, preclinical stages all the way up through post-op and post-surveillance, drug surveillance, and drug safety. So we touch a lot of different novel therapies, and we specialize in basically helping and partnering with companies that are working on novel drug therapies that can directly help millions of people around the globe. So it's something that I'm really excited to be a part of and continue to be a part of, and knowing that our work at a very low level or a very small part could impact in saving someone's life or increasing their quality.
Yeah.
So it keeps me coming.
I mean, hey, I don't want to minimize somebody that's helping somebody, find a job to build widgets, but I mean, you're helping people to find careers to save lives and help overall humanity, which is got to be just tons of fulfillment in itself.
Oh yeah. And the amount of people that we talk to too that tend to have, whether it's in clinical research, for example, and we're placing someone who's working within that, drug or therapy trial, they have personal connections to it themselves. So, and even just hearing from a secondary or tertiary level, of how much it means to them to be involved, it's truly touching. And again, really, really keeps me going day in, day out.
And you touched on it a little bit, but I mean, recruiting's tough, right? You've been doing this 5 years now. You got over that 18-month to 2-year hump. We went through in the last 5 years, recruiting's been difficult. Like, what just fuels you and just keeps you going on a daily basis?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And before these last 5 years at SRG, I was with another firm, and again, kind of made the switch during the COVID years. So about 8 years total been doing this, and there's definitely a pre and post COVID situation. But no, it's been fun on the ride, the roller coaster ride that you say. But I think as much as I can say, consistency in my approach, true empathy, not faked empathy, but truly understanding folks and follow through are kind of my biggest traits that I look to. I look at treating every candidate with respect, transparency, and staying engaged throughout the process. So I think and that all is a part of being trustworthy, both with candidates and hiring managers. So that's kind of the cornerstone to my success throughout my career.
It's great. And as someone who's been, I mean, you've been recruiting for a long time without great recruiters, and here you are now. You guys are using it. I'm just curious, how has great recruiters impacted you as a recruiter, as a recruiting manager?
Yeah. No, I mean, thinking about it, I mean, it's a way to kind of keep myself accountable, if that makes sense, and continuously improve. I think one of the things that I love about great recruiters is the real-time feedback, and that loop kind of, at a managerial level as well. It allows me to see kind of what's working, what's not working, where we can do better. And it's also a great way on top of this to showcase to other new candidates who, let's face it, there's a lot of competition in this industry. Hey, why am I going to work with these guys? Why am I going to work with Tyler? I've gotten 15 phone calls a day. And it's a really clear way of showing, hey, that we are differentiated from other firms. And it shows that.
Yeah. And it's not just the firm, and we know it. Candidates don't work with firms. They work with the recruiters. They work with the people. I mean, you could have a great firm and bad experience. And if you don't have a way to capture it, or at least to nudge or see it or spotlight, you could just have some blind spots that can hurt you long term. What is being named top rated recruiter? What did that mean to you?
Yeah, I was really excited when I saw that come through. I'm not going to lie, it made my day. For me, I kind of think of it as sort of a badge of trust, right? It means I'm doing right by the people that I work with. It means I'm being an example for my teammates, my peers, and the folks that I manage. And for candidates, it hopefully is signaling that, they're going to be working with someone myself who is going to listen to them, advocate for them, and also follow through. So I think, again, you hear so many times of stories from candidates, and friends, even, and family members who have maybe had a sour experience with, a recruiter. But again, it really means that I'm, obviously doing something right. And it shows. So, yeah.
What's one piece of advice you just kind of learned throughout your career that you would give to new recruiters starting out, or something you wish you knew when you started out?
Yeah, it's a great question. Nothing's going to truly prepare you for what you'll go through. I like to say, hey, I think I've seen it all, and then tomorrow there's going to be something new. So, be curious, be coachable. It's part kind of, recruiting in my mind, it's part art, part science, and you learn a lot by listening, asking questions, and being open to feedback. So, and another thing that I'll throw in there is don't underestimate the power of follow-up. It's often what kind of sets other folks in my team, and I think what has set me apart in my career is being consistent with follow-up.
Look, I probably talked about it before, but I had implemented Fanatical Friday, and every Friday we did not go into the weekend without any candidate that we were talking to, whether they were submitted, introduced, interviewed, placed. Every Friday they would get a call from us, because we knew for us, like, sometimes it's going to be 2 weeks, right? But for them, I never wanted anybody to go into the weekend wondering what was going on, and even not having an update, but calling them and saying, I still don't have an update, they at least are able to go into their weekend with peace of mind. So I love that, because I agree. I think that's one of the biggest differentiators for great recruiters out there, is that responsiveness and being able to, provide that follow-up, without a doubt.
Absolutely. It's listen, the job search can be daunting, especially as there's so much change that you hear about every day. So, even if it's just a reassurance that, hey, someone else is there and following up with you and a part of this process, it makes you feel maybe just a little bit less on an island. So, and that's what I love about this job.
It's really good. And what advice would you give job seekers today? It's a little bit of I don't know what the word is. It's inconsistent. What's going on? People are hiring and they're not. Like, what advice would you give them, specifically if they're working with recruiters, if they're looking for opportunities? What do you think would be helpful?
Yeah, I think I harken back to some good advice that was given to me by a former peer and someone that I looked up to, is, and this was maybe towards just, your own style of recruiting, but do something different, tailor your approach, right? I think, at this day and age, generic resumes and, cover letters aren't going to necessarily cut it anymore. You need to, as a candidate, show that, one, you've done your homework, highlight how your skills are going to align with the mission and, values of whatever company you're choosing or whatever, avenue you're going for. And definitely and I always say this, don't be afraid to reach out directly to recruiters or hiring managers. So I think a thoughtful message can go a long way on both sides of the ball. And at the same time, be authentic as well. So especially, within this ever changing world of AI we've got going on right here, definitely don't let the machines do all the work for you. It's becoming more and more of a thing right now that, people are looking into that more, and be authentic in your responses.
And I agree. And if you are going through that process, everyone I've talked to wants a human being like you on their side. And I tell you, there's a lot of recruiters to choose from out there, but why wouldn't you choose one that is certified by your peers as being someone who's great, who's trustworthy, right? Someone who's not afraid to put themselves out there to ask for feedback. Like, that's who I want to work with. Somebody who's doing all the right things to make sure that they maximize the opportunity for your success, whether it's now or in the future. So I give you a lot of kudos for sharing your story. And it's clear, recruiting isn't just about making that placement. It's about building trust or delivering real value, constantly striving to do better. And I love your story. It's a reminder of the impact that we can have. And you sit in that seat of a producer and somebody that's overseeing and a coach. And I just love that you guys are embracing getting that feedback and putting in ways to get better as an organization, as an individual, but also let everybody out there know, if you're going to choose somebody, you might as well start with us, right?
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Outstanding. Tyler, any final words that you'd like to share before we wrap up?
No, Adam, I really appreciate you taking the time to set this up, and I'm really, looking forward to, and as motivated as ever to continue, along this journey in my career path, and to keep helping the most people I can in the best way possible. That's
outstanding. And for those watching, whether you're a recruiter or a job seeker, take these lessons to heart, because in today's market, experience matters. AI might make things a little bit, make it quick. But when it comes down to your career, your life, your livelihood, experience matters. Work with somebody who's top rated. Work with a great recruiter, certified recruiter like Tyler and his team over at SRG. And I wish you all the best. And remember, just get 1% better every day. If we all focused on that, this industry would be amazing. And Tyler, thanks again for joining today. And I appreciate you sharing those insights.
Thanks so much, Adam.
Cheers.